Amy Thurman back again with 100 Days, 100 Emotions. We're on day 39 today, and we'll be talking about devastation. If you would like to catch the others in this series, then go to hashtag 100 Days, 100 Emotions. That's the number 100. It's streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And I like to remind you of the purpose of this series. It's not only to help bring attention to so many emotions that we don't even realize we're having, but to help us learn that it's normal. It's part of being human to experience these emotions and to feel them, and also to see what we can learn from them, what they can teach us. That's another mission that I have here. I also want to share with you, a lot of people ask me how I do it. How do I live with a broken neck and still stay positive, uplifting, and encouraged? And it's all about self love. And so I have created a document that outlines my 10 steps to self love that I practice daily. So if you would like that, I will drop the link in the comments after we're through, and you can grab that for free. So thank you for being here. If you find this helpful, please share it so that others may learn too. And if you would like to be a guest, I have spots still available. We can find an emotion that works for you and get you on here. Okay, thank you for watching. Let's get into this. I'm excited to introduce you to my friend today. This is Ani. Ani and I have just chatted for the first time here today, and it's so fun to be able to meet new people and get to chat with you and learn about you. Ani, thank you so much for being here.
Hello, Amy. Hello, everyone. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here. Looking forward to chatting. Yes, first time meeting. So,
Yeah, it's so interesting. We are in a platform together for our businesses. And so you chat with people online, but then when you get to see their faces and feel their energy and learn about them, it's just so, so cool. So I love being able to do this. All right. So today we're talking about devastation. And I want to start by talking about what devastation is, maybe how it feels in the body a little bit. And so this text says that devastation is overwhelming distress or suffering that one experiences as a result of a highly distressing or traumatic event. Now, if you know my story, you know this is, I have lived this. I have lived devastation because I went from one day doing everything for everyone to the next day I couldn't even take care of myself. It was devastating for me. And so if you know that story, you know I have experienced this. But we're going to talk more about it with from Ani's perspective today. So, Ani, I would love for you to share what your experience is with devastation and what you have learned from it.
how much time do you have?
Right? I
So,
know. Oh
first
my
of all,
goodness.
I consider myself a very fortunate, very lucky person because when the devastation struck, and the story was in 1988, I'm originally born and raised in Armenia, former Soviet Union. And I was in college in a capital city, which my hometown is the considered second biggest city in Armenia. 1988, December 7, we had a massive earthquake. And I mean, massive. We lost 28 villages completely, I think. My
Wow.
city, which is, if you know California, Pasadena, I don't know the amount of people, but my city, which is considered second largest city in Armenia, but it's smaller than Pasadena in California.
Okay.
We lost tens and thousands of people. We lost our
Wow.
home. So we lived in our garage for 3 years after that. And now, when I say garage, is if you're American or unless you're, from like third world country or former Soviet Union, you understand the garage is not the garages we have in America. Our
Hmm.
garage was just piece of metal. It was part of a um, old train, like half a train, with just piece of metal. That's it. That was our garage. And in December, Armenia, which we have full 4 seasons, it can get 10 degrees Celsius below zero, 20 degrees below zero. So we lived in our garage for 3 years. And that was major devastation. But again, I consider myself one of the fortunate people because my immediate family, like my parents, my sister, and my grandma, we all survived, even though my sister, who was in her school collapsed. And She was in middle school, so the higher grade kids were able to drag her out of from the ruins. I was
Wow.
away in college, and I was able, with a few friends, we hopped in a taxi and came home. And my parents were at their work. They both were engineers, and they were at their work. Their work collapsed. My grandma was at home. Thank God our building, like two sides of the building collapsed, and we were in the middle. So my grandma was fine. But like my aunt, she passed on. We found her only on the sixth day because her building completely collapsed. Some relatives, friends, there were families that completely, like the kid died at school, parents, each of the parents died at their work. So the families completely just, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. This is an emotional thing. I cannot imagine. I'm sitting here thinking, I cannot imagine what that must have been like. Like, I have nothing to compare that to. Even everything I've been through, it's not comparable to what you're describing to me. It's like
But
annihilation. Like,
but I
whew,
consider myself so lucky because my immediate family, we were okay. So living in a garage was like, oh my God, yes, I'll take that over losing my immediate family, you
yeah.
know? So that was, when you ask devastation, I'm like, oh yeah, I've lived through it. But as you say, with everything negative, everything disaster, there is always like something positive comes out of it. And the biggest positive thing for me was my outlook to life. I honestly, I don't care about the materialistic things. All I care about is, am I healthy? I'm alive. Everything else, I can make it happen. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, that's my thing. Like, I don't care when people talk about, oh my God, I lost whatever, or my favorite purse, or like lost my jewelry. I'm like, yes, for the moment, that's like major deal. But what I saw, it's doesn't, nothing compares to it. So yeah.
That's I literally, like, I have nothing in my mind that I can compare that to because it's so, oh my goodness, it reminds me of war in a way that you just lose so much. And what you were saying about it changes your whole perspective on life is so true. I have this text also that we can refer to. It says that it can be triggered by various circumstances, that it can also provide a new perspective on life and what truly matters. And I heard you say that. I live that in my life too. People tell me a lot that they're what is the word that they use, that they're taken aback by how appreciative I am by little things. Like, I appreciate every little thing because everything was stripped away from me at one time. And so, just like you're saying, it's a whole new perspective where you have nothing. So to have something at all is it's just so fulfilling. Does that make sense?
Yes. Do you hear my gardeners, the loud noise? I'm
Yes,
going, this is what
that
happens when you go live. And
yes.
the gardeners, they change their time when they come without letting you know. So they surprise you. So if it's
Yeah.
okay, I would like to close the window so it's not
Oh,
so.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead. Oh, that does happen when you go live. Oh my goodness. It's like, this is life, right? We're just going to go with it. This is what happens. We can't control every situation. We're just going with the flow here, and that's
Thank you.
okay.
As soon as I heard the sound, I'm like, oh no, not now.
It's
My fault.
absolutely fine. No worries. But yes, that change of perspective, I and just like you, like, I would never want anyone to go through what I have been through. But the result of that, my perspective now, is definitely worth what I have been through. And it sounds like you're saying the same thing.
Absolutely. That's the thing, like when you talk to some people that have gone through major event, and every event we go through, it's major for us. So there is no, we can't compare it to, oh, my earthquake story is much worse than your hitting your neck. No, it's a devastation for both of us because it makes a huge difference, makes the changes in our own life, you know. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's, but some people take that and say, what's the learning from it? Let me use that. Or some say, oh, poor me, this happened to me, and that's why I cannot move on. I cannot do this, this, this. So, which one are you? Which one do you get to choose? Because that will determine what's going to come, like what you're going to attract moving forward. So,
That is so, so true. And that I think the saying is that you can either let it make you or break you. And it is all about your choice. It's what you choose. And you're exactly right that it's not a competition. Our stories of devastation are completely different, but they're there's both devastating in our lives. And people will ask me, or that I'll be talking to people and they will say, oh, I have a headache. And then instantly, if I'm there, they will say, oh, but it's nothing compared to what you go through. I'm not trying to discount, and they immediately like start comparing what they're going through in relation to what I go through. And I'm like, stop, just stop. I'm not about competing. I don't want my story to be the most dramatic. If it's traumatic for you, then it's traumatic for you. I'm not going to discount that. There is no competition. And
yeah,
so I hear you talking about that too, and it's so true that we have a choice in how we respond. And in both of our situations, our response was to choose to learn from it, to help for it to enhance our lives instead of go the other way where it could have dragged us way, way down, and we would be living a completely different life right now.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's pretty wild. And that is one of the things I love about this series is that we get to learn about how it can be helpful, what it can teach us, what it can do for us instead of wallowing in it, which
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I need some wallowing time, like I need some time to wallow,
Oh, yeah.
but
No.
we can move past it into something that's going to be beneficial for us. And so our question today is, what has devastation taught you? For those of you watching, I would love for you to join in the conversation and tell us, what has devastation taught you? Or maybe have you ever even thought about devastation being a teacher for you or learning from it? Because you can, like Ani said, if you choose to, you can learn from it. It can be a teacher for you. And so I would love for you to join the conversation and share that with us so that we can have a little chat together. Is there anything else you want to add on that, Ani?
You know, the interesting thing is when so the earthquake happened in 1988. In 92, with my family, we moved to Los Angeles and to a city called Northridge. And then 1994, the Northridge earthquake happened, which was right by us. Like, I was sitting, when I get scared, I start laughing. So I'm sitting on the floor of our apartment cracking up because everything is out of the cupboards. Our TV ended up in the kitchen.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, thank God our building didn't collapse, but a block away, the apartment complex completely came down. And I'm cracking up because I'm like, oh my God, we fled that major earthquake where now we're here and California, and here is another large earthquake.
It's coming right
So,
back.
oh
I,
my
I I'm
God.
so
I mean,
curious if
it,
you had like flashback moments. I'm sure you were terrified.
I mean, definitely terrified, but my neighbors, who most of our building were Armenians, but Armenians from different places, so they didn't know what we went through, in Armenia. So they're watching me and they're like, Anya, are you okay? Why are you laughing? I'm like so scared right now.
Yeah.
But that's what happens to me. I just start cracking up when I get like really nervous and scared. I start laughing. So don't
Yeah.
ever have me go to funerals because yeah, not
You
a
just
I,
you
I
just laugh. That's so interesting, isn't it? how everybody responds to things differently that
It's
way, and
so
that it's
nice. The nervous system responds that I start
yeah,
laughing. So, yeah, it's just how we look at things. That's my biggest thing. Just dig deep, look at how did it change. A lot of times we talk about COVID was devastation for all of us.
yeah,
But when I'm looking at it, the positive from that came out that I can do a lot of my business online. Yes, I still have
right.
my clinic, but before that, I never thought to teach self help techniques online. Or, yes, I was thinking of doing online courses and things like that. But with COVID, I was like, oh, yeah, I love working from home. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah,
So there's always, you can look at, believe me, I'm not all positive, going and hugging trees and like life is good, peace and love all the time. No, but no, what's the alternative for you? It's like when women complain, like, oh my God, I'm getting old. I'm going to lie about my age. I'm like, what's the alternative? I love getting older,
exactly,
you know?
exactly.
So,
Yes. And I think the more devastation you have lived through, the more you understand that concept of,
and it's
I'm just
still,
happy to be alive. I'm happy to have what I have. I'm very content with my life because I have seen the other side of what it could be. And so I
exactly.
don't take it for granted anymore. I just don't. And so I believe that you're the same way too with that.
And like a lot of times women usually become more, oh, I really don't care what you think about me, what you say, because when you're younger, you're more like self-conscious. You haven't grown your like self-esteem, even though unfortunately we see that in women in their 50s, 60s, and higher. But when we get matured, there is a little bit more confidence and higher self-esteem, self-respect comes with that. But it's like, after that, the earthquake in Armenia, after that devastation, for me is like, I'm going to live my life the way I want to. And honestly, I really don't care what you think. And that's what I've done. But it doesn't help that I'm the black sheep of my family. So that was like expected from me anyway. But
Right.
like, no regrets. No
Yeah.
regrets because I just do, it's my life. Well, this time around, I got only one shot. And I'm going to do the things I want to do because I don't want to get into my hopefully 80s, 90s, and 100 and say, I should have, I could have, why not, what if,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It can
So,
be so eye-opening if we allow it to. That's the
yeah,
thing. We have to allow all of these emotions to work for us and make the choice to allow them to do that because like you said, it's a choice. We get to choose.
yeah.
And so, oh, this is so so good. Let me jump to our image today. If you have seen these before, you know that I use an AI image generator to create an image that represents the emotion of the day. And so this one is devastation. It's these are always so accurate. And sometimes when you're looking at it, you can't really see it. But when you look at it from the perspective of that emotion, it's like so many things come out. I have learned so much just from looking at these images and hearing other people's interpretation of them. I love this part. So let me pop this up and then I will full screen it here so we can see it a little better. When I asked it to create an image that represents devastation, this is what it gave me. And
Mhm.
I see it. Like, I see it. It looks like the sky is falling down, it's melting down, and everything's kind of dripping down, almost like suffocating. Like it's just, it does say devastation to me. Is there anything that jumps out at you, Ani, with this picture?
I was going to say that looks like my city. When we took a taxi with few of we're living in a dorm in a capital city, and there were several of us from our city. So we took five of us, we took a taxi, we came, and because all the, like so many buildings came down, the taxi couldn't move forward. So it dropped us off at the beginning of the city. As we're walking and looking at the buildings collapsed, that's exactly what it looked like. It was complete
Wow.
darkness. There were fires in different places. You could hear the people's screams, cries, moans, but it's exactly
Gosh.
what that's what it reminds me of when we were walking into the city.
Oh my goodness. I can't imagine. Like, this is a picture that's generated. I can't remember, I
Yeah.
can't imagine this being real life, like actually stepping into this scene in real life. It just blows my mind. Wow.
Yeah.
So crazy. For those of you who are watching, if you have other interpretations of that image, I would love to hear those. And I'm just like, my heart is just, oh, I can't imagine living that. Living that is just, oh, it's a lot. It's heavy. It's so heavy. Okay, but we don't want to stay in the heavy, right?
No.
We want to move into what is good, what has come from it. And so let's talk a minute now, Ani, about what you do and how people can reach you if they would like to work with you.
Thanks, Amy. Yes, I'm a pain resolution practitioner. So, for the last almost 3 decades, I've been working with people that have been told their body pain is normal for their age, or living with pain has become their new norm. Because to me, is I say, don't ever settle or say that's the card I was dealt, because there is a solution. You just haven't found one yet. I'm
Mm.
not saying I'm the only solution, but there is a solution. There's so many amazing practitioners, doctors, there's so many modalities that the one of them is going to be your unique modality. That's the one is going to help you. Some of my clients call me I have this new client, which husband and wife, they're both my clients. She goes, Ani, do you know what we call you at our house? The good witch. I said, I love it. I love, because I do very unique techniques,
Yeah.
and I love it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to figure out how to use that in my different, online social media somewhere. Yes, I'm the
Yeah.
good witch, and I love it. So, on my website, which is Last Stop for Pain, and four is a numeric four. When you go there at the homepage, there is a free gift, 5 tips to pain-free you, which once you sign up, you can get a instant access to for the next 5 days. You get very short videos, like 2 to 3 minute videos of different techniques, different suggestions, downloadable PDFs on pain, relieving pain on different parts of your body. So, yes.
I'm going to go check that out. I'm going to go check out that resource because excuse me, when you're talking about using different modalities, like I had to advocate for myself for such a long time, and I went through so many different practitioners, of different things, because I knew, like you said, there's something out there that's going to help. There is something out there that I haven't tried yet, and so I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And it's so true that you can't just give up and say, this is
Yeah.
how it's going to be. I'm going to have to live with this the rest of my life, because you don't. There's
Yeah.
there's something out there that can help you. You just have to be willing to find it. And maybe Ani's service is that. Do you do like a chat with people, like you do an initial call to just
I
kind of
do,
talk them?
yeah, I do offer a 30 minutes complimentary Zoom session where we go over what pain they have, what they tried, what worked, what didn't work. And then I may actually walk them through some self-help techniques. So yeah, definitely. And
And that's on your website?
it should be on my website when you go book an appointment.
Okay.
Or I can actually pop a link in the chat.
Okay. And then I will share it to all the places after this is over so that you all can just click on it and it'll take you right to her info.
Yeah, it's right here. I just popped it in a private chat. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
link, 30 minutes complimentary session. Please, I'll be happy to see how I can help, or even if I can't help, I'll can direct you, maybe give you some suggestions where to look for.
That's amazing because, I live in chronic pain. A lot of my friends, or a lot of the people that I have connected with over these years, live in chronic pain. So I feel like you could probably help a lot of people. So would definitely be worth checking into. Thank you again, Ani, for being here for choosing to spend your time with us today and sharing your story of devastation that I cannot even imagine what that must have been like. But I'm so, so thankful that you chose to use it as a source of for good instead of take you in the other direction.
Yes, thank you, Amy. Thanks for having me here. And I love what you do, bringing,
Oh,
the spotlight to help others, because hearing some other people's stories, it gives you hope, gives you a different outlook that you probably didn't think of. So,
yes, exactly. And that's one of the purposes of doing this. I had a friend message me the other day and she said, "You're making me feel normal with this series. It's making me feel normal," because she didn't realize that all the feelings and emotions that she's feeling are normal, that other people are dealing with this too and they have stories around it too. And so
yeah,
I that was my goal, was to help it. I wanted it to be powerful in changing people's lives. And so I hope that's what it's doing. And I'm so thankful for people like you, Ani, who are willing to come on here and share stories that make you feel vulnerable, but still are able to help people. So thank you
yes,
again.
thanks.
Of course. For those of you watching, thank you so much for watching. If you have found this helpful or think it will be helpful for others, please share it. I would love to reach other people with this message. Again, if you want to see the others, it's hashtag 100 days, 100 emotions. That's the number 100. If you would like to be a special guest, I can plug you into an emotion that would fit for you. Just message me or drop a comment, and I will reach out to you. And lastly, if you would like my free 10 Steps to Self Love flyer, I will drop that link in the chat too, and you can go get that for free. It's how I manage my life. Self love is so important. That's where we have to start. So thanks for watching. Until tomorrow, I'll be back with a new emotion. Bye.
Bye.